last year. Did play in 22 games. I think a majority of those were junior varsity. First pitch on the way to him, over his head. And caught by Crawford. He read that pitch the whole way, knowing that it was going to be well out of the zone. 1-0. Makes the adjustment and drops that one in there. One ball, one strike. Sibley winds, he deals. Up and in. 2 balls and a strike to Jamel Ford. Sibley's ready with the pitch, and he comes back with a strike on the inside half of the plate. Even count at 2 balls and 2 strikes for the left-hander. Working against the lefty Sibley. 2-2, struck him out swinging. But nothing but strikeouts here in the early going for either team. As Caleb Tart, the shortstop, will be the next batter. He's a 5'10" junior for the squad. The windup and the pitch to Sibley. From Sibley is fouled off. No balls, 1 strike to Tart. Played a good bit last year, 36 games, adding 287 just a year ago. 31 hits and a set of 14 ribbies. He's in the hole, 0-2 here. No balls, 2 strikes. Sibley trying to get his second strikeout. He's ready to deal. Well inside, nearly clipped the batter. Count now at a ball and 2 strikes. 1 down so far in the bottom half of the first inning. You were scoreless so far. Sumrall 0, Hattiesburg 0. The 1-2 struck him out swinging. Another swinging strikeout for the Bobcats to start things off is Cross Sibley. Dealing pretty well and not using many pitches to do so. Up to 9 pitches on the inning so far. This brings up Keelan McKellar, the DH. Another right-hander. You get a little mismatch here. First pitch is in there for a strike. The 0-1. Took a little bit off that one. It's grounded toward the hole at short. It's gloved and thrown across the diamond. It's close play. He is safe. Morgan did a good job getting to it. It was kind of dead between Hunter Barrett and Tanner Morgan. Morgan got it and had a good throw over to Story at first, but just a hair late. Sibley took a lot off of that pitch. It'll go as an infield hit. He took a lot off that pitch, and therefore, whenever McKellar got bat on ball, he likewise hit it softly. That's why McKellar stands at first base, and the Bobcats get to face the cleanup hitter, Adrian Feltz. First pitch to him is right there for strike 1. Oh and 1 the count. Feltz batted .222 last year and swings and misses at a pitch that may have been just a bit outside. Wouldn't consider Sibley to be in a jam with just a runner at first base, but an 0-2 count and 2 outs. Love to see the inning end right here, and he does with a swinging strikeout. Got Felts to chase right there. As he records a third out of the inning, 3 strikeouts. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. We played a full inning, and we're still scoreless. The lone player that returns for Hattiesburg from last year's starting rotation in the game against Sumrall at the beginning of the year is Caleb Tart. Responsible for just 1 hit, 1 RBI out of the 7 hits and 3 total runs. So 1 for 3 on the day went Tart, but everybody else were seniors. Cameron Wells, Joseph Gray, Jay Reedy, A.J. Stinson, Dexter Jordan, Brandon Knox, Richardson, and Johnson all graduated. Meanwhile, the only people that graduated from Sumrall between last year's game and this one was Garrett Robbins and Logan Powell as far as people that batted in that game. Last year in that game, Hunter Barrett started as the pitcher. He was relieved by Grant Reddy, who got the win, and the save was earned by Garrett Robbins. So to start things off for the Bobcats in this inning, it'll be Javen Williams, left fielder. Waits the first pitch from Burkett, and it's high and outside. Second pitch to him. He hits a fly ball into shallow center field. Coming forward and trying to track it down and making the catch is Donaldson. Oh, he dropped it. He had it in his glove and he dropped it. That'll go down as an E8. Eagle-Eye Jeremy Thompson helping me out here as I was looking down at my scorer's card just to get the identity of the player right. And Williams earns his way on via the error. So still hitless are the Bobcats so far, but they do have a man on with nobody out. Hunter Barrett now at the plate. Hits the first pitch he's offered and fouls it off to the right side. No balls, 1 strike, man at first base, nobody out. Here's the 0-1. That one's outside, and it was set up outside by Lott. 1-1 the count. A long look over there at first base, and Barrett takes time at the plate. Just mentioned Hunter Barrett, who started the game against Hattiesburg last year on the pitching side. Did a pretty good job for 4 innings. That pitch drops low. Only gave up 1 earned run in that game out of the 3 that were scored by Hattiesburg. Fouls that one back to the right side and hits a little bit of the stadium to even up the count at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Barrett awaiting the dealing from Burkett. And instead he's going to get a throw over to first. Williams able to get back with ease. Center fielder Donaldson playing pretty shallow on the in the outfield. Wind's been blowing in almost from straightaway center the entire evening so far. And for the record, it is a pretty deep outfield here at Hattiesburg with a tall wall. 340 down the line and left. I believe that's 415 to straightaway center. That's where balls go to die today. Here's the pitch and another foul ball back to the screen. Jeremy, are you sure about that? Is it 445? My goodness. He's at 445. I'm getting out the binoculars. I think he's right, though. I do think that's a 4. Well, no wonder Donaldson's playing so shallow. I've never seen a ballpark with 445. That is a deep center field. So my eyes weren't what they used to be. Goodness. I'm really blown away by that. My first trip to Smoky Harrington Park. They recently renovated this thing just a few years ago. All right, throw outside, runner going to get to second easily. He was running on the pitch. Pitch was outside, creates a full count. And Williams is going to get a stolen base there. Hunter Barrett at the plate with a runner in scoring position now. Here's the 3-2. Line drive into left center field. That one's way back there and sliding, trying to make the catch. Did he get it? No, he did not. He dropped it. Ford dropped it. Around coming in to score is Williams. Play at the plate. Throws not in time. RBI double for Hunter Barrett. Fighting at the plate. He connects and lines it all the way out into deep left center. It allows the Bobcats to score first. Nobody out. Runner at second base again, and Mason Story comes up to the plate. Meanwhile, Hunter Barrett exchanging his gloves and whatnot. For a second there, I thought he was getting a courtesy runner, but that doesn't work for a third baseman. Only pinch runners. Pitch on the way, swinging strike for Mason Story. Story went hitless on 3 at-bats in the game last year against Hattiesburg. The senior awaits the 0-1 from Burkett. Jammed him inside, he pops it up just beyond the infield, ranging over to the right field line and dropping it. Was he in foul territory or fair territory? They're going to say he was in fair territory. It's going to be a single or an error. We'll see how they score it. But it dropped right inside the right field line. And they're going to give him an error, E9. So Story gets to first. Barrett advances to third on the error. And there's still no outs. Coach Hartfield wanted to talk to his defense to make sure everybody's all on the same page and get everybody defensively in sound mind. Meanwhile, the errors have all been by the outfielders. But an error on the center fielder Donaldson and an error on Mason Story's hit to right field by McFarland. Meetings all between the infielders just to settle down his pitcher and get everybody set up. Runners at the corners, nobody out, and Tanner Morgan steps in. .61 senior, weighs 190 for this Bobcat squad. Hunter Barrett over at third base, Mason Story at first. Nobody out. First pitch to Morgan. Swinging strike 1. Bottom kind of fell out of that one. Haven't really seen a whole lot of heat out of the arm of Burkett so far. Long look over there at first base. Stretching the pitch. Pop foul out behind the right field bleachers. Or the right side bleachers, I should say. Morgan's in the hole, 0-2. He's in the 7 spot batting for these Sumrall Bobcats. Lott kind of setting up outside. Here's the pitch. Hits it off the end of his bat, foul again. Still 0-2. Nobody out here in the top half of the first, or excuse me, in the second inning. Already one run home. Here's the 0-2. And he got him to cut on and miss with a high fastball. Fastball, I use that loosely, about 76 miles per hour on the gun. They finally get the first out of the inning. Brings up the pitcher across Sibley. First pitch is Sibley, runner going, lays down the bunt, squeeze play, and it was foul. Just went outside the right side chalk line. Hunter Barrett nearly got there. Probably would have gotten there. Definitely the side you want to try to squeeze it up on. Now the infielders kind of playing more toward the infield grass. Meanwhile, the middle infielders may want to be at double play depth in the event of a ground ball to one of them. Get themselves out of the inning with only one run scored if you can complete that double play. The 0-1 to Sibley is up high for ball one. One ball, one strike. Hunter Barrett on at third base. Mason Story at first. Barrett hitting an RBI double that scored Javen Williams, who led off the inning. The 1-1. Up high, and that's ball two. Sibley as a freshman. Can these numbers be right? Batted 9, oh no, that's fielding percentage, that's why. That's in fair territory. Trying to get the runner in a rundown. Player dives. Did he catch him? Umpire didn't make a signal. He pointed, but I didn't see him make the out call. No safe signal or anything. They haven't put the out on the board. They haven't put the run on the board. But I think in pointing at the defender that dove at Hunter Barrett, I think they got him. So it's 2-2. And 2 outs now. Fouls that one back, and the count remains 2-2. Showed bunt, and his swing was not pulled back in time, so the strike is recorded. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bunt should be off, especially with 2 outs. Runner did move to second on the strike. Way inside. Lott having to run with the ball out behind the batter. Full count now. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Struck him out swinging. Just out of his reach. Sibley goes down swinging. And that's how the inning comes to a close. Not before, though. The Bobcats are able to score 1 run on 1 hit. There were 2 Tiger errors and 1 man left on base. So at the end of an inning and a half, Sumrall leads Hattiesburg 1-0. Tigers will have the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming up: Burkett, Lott, and Thompson. But good showing by the Bobcats in that inning, I'd say. Even though Hattiesburg gave up the run that was unearned. Getting Hunter Barrett to the plate and allowing him to hit that nice double out into the left field area. Gives you at least some confidence that there's some hitting that's going to take place, and especially whenever you get around to the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the next go-around in the 3rd inning. I feel like every batter has a much better idea of what the pitcher's throwing after seeing him once. Once you've made it a full rotation through the lineup, you get a better feel, and especially Barry, Crawford, and Garrity, who all struck out. The 1, 2, 3 hitters all went down with a strikeout. You'd think that they would have a better idea of what kind of pitching Burkett is throwing, and will know how to make the adjustments. Now, walking through earlier, Sumrall looked like they had a pretty decent crowd around. A lot of blue and gold, a little bit of purple and gold here, but a nice showing for the Bobcat faithful. Come out from their support for the short drive down over here in the downtown area of Hattiesburg. Sibley out on the mound once again, and his first batter he'll face is Jerry Burkett. Pitcher-on-pitcher matchup here. Burkett throws left and bats left. And he is one of those that'll double as a first baseman whenever he's not pitching. 6'2" junior, weighs 155. One of those 7 juniors this Hattiesburg team has. His first pitch offering is way outside for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Burkett sits in the batter's box, pretty close to the plate. Next one is outside as well. Sibley's 3 outs were all swinging strikeouts. Hattiesburg pretty aggressive at the plate in the early going. Excuse me. He gets a strike right there. The 2-1. Just a little bit high and outside. May have been over the plate, but a little high. And a batter's count right now, 3 balls and 1 strike. Burkett take a step outside of the batter's box a little bit, and he's walked. First walk given up by Sibley this season. A 1-to-3 ratio of walks to strikeouts. Now Cameron Lott will step in, number 22 in purple and gold. He's behind the plate for the Tigers this evening. Here at the bottom half of the second inning, Sumrall leading 1-0. No outs and a runner at first. Sibley will check the runner and throw over to Story, just to keep the runner close by. Sibley deals. That one's right in there on the outside corner. Oh, and 1 the count. Cameron Lott at the plate. 5'5" sophomore. Lays down the bunt. Pitcher Sibley's going to field it. Look to second, but is going to throw to first in time for the out, as Barry went over there to cover for him. That's the first out of the inning, but the sacrifice is successful. And it moves the runner over to second base. So Lott does his job, moves the runner into scoring position. And Walt Thompson, the second baseman for Hattiesburg, stands in, batting in the 7th spot of the order, here with 1 out. Get to see Sibley out of the stretch a little bit more. His first pitch is right in there. Oh, and 1 to Walt Thompson, number 13 in purple and gold. Pitch inside. One of 9 sophomores on the team this year. He wasn't on the varsity squad at all last year. Or if he was, didn't gather any statistics. Throw down to second. And he's retired. Didn't get his hand in the bag in time. The runner is out at second base as Sibley completes the play to Morgan. They apply the tag and get him out. Caught on the 1-6 put out. And now with the bases empty and a 1-1 count, Sibley may be able to retire the side with only 3 men he's faced. Grounder, left side. Sibley's going to have to get rid of it in a hurry. Throw it over to first, one hop, and it's into right field. Runner trying to make it all the way to second base. Did the ball go out of play? Yes, it did. He's going to earn second base automatically. They'll give him an infield hit, as that that ball was tough to handle for Sibley over there to the left side of the mound. And he'll earn second on the error by the pitcher across Sibley. So Thompson's on at second base, and Landon Raska will stand in. Really deep there in the baseline. Here's the pitch. Ooh, nice curve that curls in on the inner half of the plate. Oh, 0-1 the count, Landon Raska, I should say. The 0-1. Line drive into left field. Camping under it is Williams. He's there, and the inning is over. Fly ball ends it over to left field, and Javen Williams makes the play to end the inning. They strand a runner, but no runs on 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 man left on. We've played 2. Sumrall leading in this one, 1 run to none. You know, they didn't put an error on the scoreboard, but they do have to assign an error to Cross Sibley on that throw. Earned first base, but he didn't earn second base. He was gifted it on the error. Sometimes you don't see scoreboard operators put that one up simply because it's not how the base runner reached base. But they do have it right in that Hattiesburg has 2 hits so far. I know some of these more JV games or Little League games, they'll definitely only put up the errors whenever it's how the base runner reached. If anything else, because errors don't go up to double digits on the board a lot of times. Hayden Barrett will lead things off for Sumrall. He's the 9-hole hitter. He'll be followed by Zane Berry at the top of the order, and then Graham Crawford. First pitch is low and in for Hayden. Bobcats went 1-2-3 in the upper frame of the first inning. Have since accumulated 1 run, 1 hit. Hattiesburg committed 2 errors, and they've only left 1 on base so far. The 2-1. Inside, that's ball 3. Three and 1 the count. Here it is. Inside, and he walked him. Leadoff walk, and you have the top of the order coming to the plate. Zane Berry, who struck out looking in his first at bat, comes to the plate, number 1 in blue. the Bobcats' second baseman. Here with the runner on first base. Burkett with the long look over there at first base. Turns to the plate and deals. Bunt laid down and is fouled to the right side. You saw Feltz really charging in there from third base, thinking it was going to come up his way. I've seen Sumrall try to lay down some bunts so far, tried to get a squeeze play to score a run earlier. It wasn't quite successful. In fact, it was the downfall of Hunter Barrett. Quick throw over to first. Barrett gets back there easily. Hayden Barrett over there at first base. Zane Berry at the plate. And another throw over. I tell you, his pitches are typically in the low 70s range, but his snap throws over to first base look like they have a little more zip on them. He's really paying a lot of attention to Hayden Barrett over there. And now they got him in a rundown. Throw it over first. Now the shortstop covering at second base, chasing Barrett back toward the bag. He's going to stop and get tagged. Had a good scouting report and paid off for him. 1-3-6 on the putout. One down and the base is empty for Zane Berry, and he's only had one pitch thrown to him. And Coach Knight's having a little discussion with our home plate umpire. Wondering about the manner in which Burkett is throwing the ball to first base. He's wondering if a balk shouldn't be talked about here. You've got to take a foot to the back side of the rubber in order to make that throw. The three amigos are having their discussion right of the mound and talking about it a bit. No signal made, so it looks like the call will stand. Home plate umpire putting his hand on his chest, maybe to say, Coach, I may have missed it this time, but I'll be looking next time. As many discussions with umpires from a coaching staff, they fall on deaf ears. No fruit will come of that discussion. The out will be recorded, and Zane Berry is back at the dish for his no ball, one strike count. Here's the pitch from Burkett. Outside. Pretty close pitch, just kind of drifted off the outside corner. Here's the 1-1. Grounded foul to the left side and toward the Hattiesburg dugout. And a hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Struck out looking his first time up. Here's the 1-2. Grounded right past the pitcher toward the gap in center. They're going to try to get the throw at first, but it's going to be short by about 3 steps. Not in time. Ball slowed up in velocity as it crossed over the mound, and Burkett lifted his heel to avoid getting struck by the ball. I think it rolling over the rubber kind of slowed its momentum and allowed the middle infielders to get to it. It'll go as a single, and Berry is 1 for 2 on the day. And he's at first base with Crawford up and 1 down. Burkett deals. A little bit of a lead for Berry on that one as the throw was made. It's 1 ball and no strikes. In the second spot of the batting order, the leadoff man in the game, Zane Berry, at the 1 spot, is over there at first. Crawford trying to get him into scoring position or possibly score him here with 1 out. The 1-0. Kind of crossed up the catcher inside. Consecutive innings for the Bobcats to get hits. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, left center field. Camping out under it is Ford. He hauls it in, and Berry will have to retreat back to first. So with 2 down in the inning and a runner at first base, Billy Garrity, who struck out swinging his first time up, stands in. Left on left matchup here. The runner at first is Barry. Billy Garrity in the box. Burkett with a long look, and he was tired of waiting, was Garrity. Snap throw over to first. Got back in time. I tell you, he's got a nice move there. Quick trigger. Garrity still awaiting his first pitch with a wide stance of the batter's box. A wind in the pitch. Took a lot off that one. Kind of released it a bit early. Tie for ball one. 1 ball, no strikes to Billy Garrity. Throw back over to first. Diving in there safely is Barry. Another throw over there. I tell you, it's not the traditional pacing of times thrown over to first. Like they'll barely let the runner stand back up and immediately throw it back over there. See, just like that. And then faked a throw and drops the ball. It's like playing rapid fire catch with dad in the backyard. See how quick you can throw it at dad once he throws it back to you. Catch him off guard. As a first baseman, if I'm Raska over there, I'm having to keep keen eyes on my pitcher. Because I may never know when that ball's about to hit me in the face or go into right field. And another throw over there. This time, a little collision with the runner and fielder. Throw kind of led him into the baseline, so obviously that's not interference. Runner was safe at first anyway. And Coach Knight is pleading with the way the defense is handling these situations. You can only block the baseline if you have or are making connection with possession of the ball. If you don't have possession of the ball, or if you're not in the process of grasping possession, you cannot block the baseline. Now, the Coach Knight is arguing about a possible interference with the runner at first. Well, he's talking about a possible balk situation, but he's pointing more so toward first on that play right there in the collision. Coach Knight going to take time along with the Hattiesburg coaching staff. It's Coach Joe Hartfield of Hattiesburg back on the hill talking to his infielders. Coach Knight's going to get his money's worth over there with the first base umpire as well. I tell you, a majority of these conversations are not malicious. If you ever have a chance or within earshot, or maybe you watch on ESPN some of these discussions, some of them are civil, some of them not so civil. But I feel like a majority of the time, to avoid any type of ejection situation, a majority of the time it's just restating of rules. Like, let's remind each other what the rules are to make sure they're enforced to the fullest extent of the written word. And pretty much in these type of situations, Coach Knight is pleading the case of, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the rule. He's not making any judgment against the umpire because that can result in ejection, simply just stating what's going on here and what the rules say. Runner at first base and a 1-0 count to Billy Garrity. He finally gets his second pitch, and it's a bit low for ball 2. I tell you, it doesn't affect his pitch count for Burkett to throw over to first, but the velocity that he's throwing over there almost feels like he's throwing strikes. And currently right now, he's thrown more over to first base than he has to the plate in this inning. 2-0. Runner going. Pitch down low. Dropped by the catcher Lott, and earning the stolen bases, Zane Berry. Timed it right. And the aggressive Sumrall base running pays off again. Didn't pay off whenever Hunter Barrett tried to score at home, but at least gets the runner into scoring position here with 2 down. Strikes right in there on the 3-0 count. I think Burkett is doubtful to try to make a throw over to second base now at times. Mainly it's the first base move that he likes to go with. 3-1. Low and away, and he puts Garrity on. Second walk of the inning. He's got a pair of walks to go with 5 strikeouts. And Javen Williams, the lone junior in this starting rotation, comes in, the right-hander. Reached base on an error by the center fielder, a dropped pop fly that barely escaped the infield. His first pitch is outside for ball 1. Garrity on at first base. Barry at second. Here's the 1-0. Ooh, just clips the inside corner. A couple of the Bobcat faithful not too happy about that call. Just did clip the corner, evidently. Count evened up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Upstairs. Two and 2 in a 1-0 game. Sumrall leading in this one in the top half of the 3rd inning. Here's the 2-1. That one drops low, and he's in danger of loading the bases. All the walks have come in this inning for the starting pitcher, Jerry Burkett. A 3-1 offering right in there. Come back and delivered a 79-mile-per-hour fastball right down Broadway. The payoff pitch on the way. Line towards center field, coming and charging forward is Donaldson. He's got it, and the inning is over. So line out to the center fielder ends the Bobcat threat as they leave 2 runners stranded, scoring no runs on 1 hit. Through 2.5 innings, Sumrall leading Hattiesburg 1 run to no runs. I want to thank our sponsors, Magnolia State Bank, Bellevue Specialty Eye Care, and Sonic for their support of Bobcat Athletics throughout the 2019 baseball season. Thankful for those folks and their generous support of our broadcast and the baseball team at large. I'm very thankful to be able to do these broadcasts for Sumrall. I'm filling in for Kelly Sander tonight. My name is Caleb Hamill. Forgot the formal introductions earlier. We had a little trouble getting our stream on earlier today, but we're happy that you've tuned in this afternoon, or into this evening, rather. Cross Sibley is back on the hill. Sumrall in their, I like to say they're tributes to the Kansas City Royals jerseys. That kind of blue. I can envision Barry Bonds making the catch in center field off the wall. And a uniform very similar to this. Definitely that same blue color. It's not quite like a North Carolina Tar Heel blue. I like it, though. It's a good look. Good majority of the players, in fact, maybe all of them, are wearing the upper shin socks on the outside of the jerseys, with the pants tucked in. Even Coach Knight playing in that trend. I'll tell you one thing, if you want to compare pitchers so far, you got Sibley, who's dealt 3 strikeouts, all of those coming back in the first inning. issued a single walk and has given up 2 hits so far. But meanwhile, on the other side, Burkett, though he's thrown more innings, has 5 strikeouts. Didn't have one of those in the last inning and got his first 2 walks against his credit in the third. Both teams have 2 hits so far. Hattiesburg has given up more errors. To lead things off, Jarius Mcfarland steps in. He's delivered ball 1. It'll be the 9-1 and 2 hitters to lead things off for the Tigers. 1-0 on the way from Sibley. Clips the outside corner for strike 1. Got that one to curve on in there. Time is called as we have a stray baseball that's floated into the left field foul area. Pitch is fouled off the end of the bat by Mcfarland. And he's in a hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Center fielder Hayden Barrett likewise following the orders that Hattiesburg center fielder Donaldson was given and playing pretty shallow. Middle infielders kind of playing back on the grass a bit. First and third baseman pretty much playing even with the bag. 2-2 the count now on Jarius Mcfarland. His first at bat of the game. One of the few seniors on this Hattiesburg team. Takes a strike on the inside corner and goes down looking. That's a good way to start it off for Sibley in the bottom half of the third. Leadoff man struck out looking. And you bring up the next 2 guys who struck out swinging in their first at-bats. It's the first time they're back to the top of the order. This is the first time he's facing somebody who's seen his pitching before. Try to lay down the bunt. Sibley grabs it, gloves it, throws to first, and easy out to Story. Snow coned it on the end of his glove, but was able to get it in his throwing hand and over to Story. 1-3 on the put out, and quickly there are 2 Tigers away. As Ford tried to earn his way on bunting up the third base side. I'll bring up the shortstop Caleb Tart. His position number matches the number on his jersey, number 6. Struck out on a 1-2 count to give Hattiesburg their second out back in the first. 2 down, bases empty. Third baseman Hunter Barrett kind of coming in from third base, just in case Hattiesburg's thinking about bunting again. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Second baseman Barry playing just on the edge of the outfield grass. 2 balls and no strikes on Caleb Tart. Fouls that one back over our press box area. Let's make it a 2-ball, 1-strike count. If you missed it earlier, we were talking earlier about the setup of Smoky Harrington Park here in Hattiesburg. 340 down the left field line and 445 to straightaway center. Now, just for comparison, I can remember that Duty Noble Field in Starkville is around 405 to straightaway. It's fluctuated between 390 and 410, somewhere in that neighborhood. 3-1 is in there to make the count go full. So you take let's say an average center field is 400 to 405 feet, and you add 40 more feet to it. You're talking about a dead alley. Grounder toward the second base hole. Gloved by Barry and thrown over to first, and he's got him for the out. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers in the bottom half of the third inning. No damage done there. Sibley getting the job done by striking out one, completing the put out to first on the next one, and then getting a ground out to second base to end Hattiesburg's batting in the third. Well, that's what you wanted to see in all the innings so far. Hattiesburg unable to score on any occasion so far in this game. But they are able to get the 3 outs with very few pitches thrown in this innings affair. Let's see, threw 5 pitches to Mcfarland, only 1 to Ford, so 6, and then 6 pitches to Tart, so 12-pitch inning. Can't ask for much more. Hunter Barrett will lead things off for Sumrall here in this inning. He'll be followed by Mason Story and Tanner Morgan. That's the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Excuse me, 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Barrett had a double with a man on base. It was an RBI double. Javen Williams was on at second after reaching on the error. Lone run on the board is unearned. Hattiesburg, after giving up the run earlier, they've entered in a new pitcher into the game. So Burkett, his day is done on the mound. We'll try to get a number. It looks like perhaps that's an 18. 19, okay. So Landon Raska, the one we were talking about earlier, right-handed pitcher, 6-foot senior, weighs 185. One of the few returning pitchers for this Hattiesburg team. So he's moved off from first base, and I'm assuming that Burkett has taken his role over there, and he has. So to start off the 4th inning, Rasko's going to be on the hill, and Burkett has moved over to first. Rasko pitched a total of 31 innings last year, gave up 19 earned runs. First pitch is a strike to Hunter Barrett. Able to get 35 strikeouts, but he matched it with 36 walks. So almost even 50% on the strikeout to walk ratio. Likewise with the count, it's 50-50, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 pitch way inside near the face of Hunter Barrett. Two of them on the count now on Barrett, who had an RBI double and scored the lone run of the game back in the 2nd inning. Rasko's just entered the game in danger of walking the leadoff man. Three balls and a strike. The look in from Rasko. The right-hander deals. And that fastball is low. Leadoff walk. 3rd walk of the game issued by the Tigers, and the first of Rasko. And he'll face Mason Story, who reached on an error to the right fielder on a drop fly ball down the right field line. Mason never was able to score in that inning. He was the runner left on base in the 2nd. Fresh count and a Bobcat on base. First pitch to Story. He's aggressively swinging and fouls it back. Got a little bit more heat on the Rasko fastballs than we saw on Burkett. That's already a big difference. 0-1 on the way. Way inside. Story doesn't make an attempt to get out of the way of that one. That one clunks him on the shoulder. He's really not crowding the plate too much either. He's about a half-foot's length away from the line. 1-1. Drops in there for a strike. 1-2 the count now. Hunter Barrett over there at first base. Mason Story at the plate. Raska, the nod and the deal. Took some off of that. And got Story to go down swinging. 75 on the gun. Little changeup. He's got a good bit more movement, I think, on his. I think Raska may prove to be a little bit difficult to face for the Bobcats. I don't know what else the Tigers have in their pitching rotation. Raska seems to be one of the marquee guys of this team. Tanner Morgan at the plate. Stands in, takes strike one, runner going, and he is dead to rights, but the ball got past the shortstop and into center field. Had him dead to rights. Strike is issued. It's an 0-1 count to Tanner Morgan. But yeah, if that on a better throw, Hunter Barrett is retired. That pitch is in there for strike two. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 down here in the inning. Chopper over the pitcher towards second. He has to stop, pick it off the ground, and the throw is not in time. Probably going to issue an error to the second baseman there. And Barrett makes his way over to third. It would be the third Hattiesburg error. It was a tough chop, and he kind of got him in between as he came toward the infield grass. Try to come to it, they will give him the error. Yeah, poor second baseman Thompson over there just was not able to field that ball cleanly, knocked it down, had to pick it up off the dirt and throw to first. Almost had the play, but Morgan was just able to get to first in time. Now the pitcher Cross Sibley at the plate with runners at the cores and 1 down. Took a little bit off that pitch. One and 0. Swings and misses at that one. And leaving the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hunter Barrett at third base, Tanner Morgan at first. Second base is unoccupied. And 1 Bobcat out in the inning. Runner going, and they're going to call the balk. Balk scores Hunter Barrett and moves Tanner Morgan over to second base. Put the old BK in the scoring book because you can have it your way. The Bobcats have it their way right there and get their second run on the board. Still a 1-1 count on Cross Sibley. Man at second now. Pitch drifts low and inside. Two and 1. Sibley awaiting the pitch. Raska delivers. Up high. 3 and 1. Raska's already walked 1. That was Hunter Barrett, who's already scored in the inning. For the time being, that Hunter Barrett run is unearned because he reached third on the error. That could be later changed to an earned run. If a base hit occurs later on, that would have scored him anyway. Count is 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's inside. Cross Sibley races down to first base on the walk. And Raska has delivered his second walk since coming into the game. Sibley's going to get a courtesy runner. That's Sully Clark. So Clark running for Sibley and Hayden Barrett is the Bobcat batter. First pitch, he hit him. Load up the bases as Morgan moves over to third, Clark at second, and now Hayden Barrett at first. And since the pitching change, only one out has been recorded. That was a strikeout for Mason Story. One run is already scored in the inning for the Bobcats. And now they're back to the top of the order in Zane Berry. Zane already singled once in this game. Just one inning prior to right now. And it looks like Coach Hartfield is maybe ready to make a change again. He's got a man down there in the bullpen. Got too much netting in our way to be able to tell who it is. See if I can't make out that number. Looked like 39. That'd be Jeremiah Nunez. It is a right-handed pitcher. Well, after facing only 5 batters, Rasko's day is done. So the shortstop, Caleb Tart, looks to be the one that'll be throwing now. He is listed as a right-handed pitcher, and that is who's on the mound. Looks like they may, I don't know if they're moving Burkett out into the outfield. He is tossing with the right fielder right now. Entering the game now is Jarius Mcfarland again. He may be exchanging his glove for a different one. McFarland was in right. They may be shaking up this defensive alignment a good bit. So Tart has moved from shortstop to the pitching position. It looks as though Burkett has moved to center field. Now keep in mind, Donaldson, who was in center field, did not bat. So really not losing anything in the batting order by making that change. And Rasko has exchanged his glove for a different one and has come back onto the field. We'll try to get all the defensive alignments straightened out here as we get set back up with the bases loaded situation. Sumrall leading in this one 2-0. Only one out recorded so far in the inning. Be fun if I was trying to keep the digital stats in this one right now with Game Changer, trying to make all these defensive changes. That's a lot of taps on an iPad screen right there. I tell you what, job well done if you're able to do it. McFarland is going to be moved to second base. That much we know. And the one problem with these Hattiesburg uniforms, the numbers on the front of the jersey are purple, matching the jersey top, and just barely outlined in gold. Can't hardly read them. Pitch from Tart is in there for strike one to Zane Berry. Misses with that one. Bases loaded situation. 1-1 the count to Zane Berry. Pitch cut on and missed at a 79-mile-per-hour curve. Move left to right across the plate. 1-2, he's ready to deal again. Missed badly outside that time, though. Not wasting any time from the stretch here. Coming into a tough situation. Looking in at the signs from his catcher. He deals. Chopper fouled third base side. Coach Knight with good hands gets it right back to the pitcher. Old ball coach still has some moves. 2-2. Pitch on the way. Took some off of that and got him swinging. Second time Barry's been retired on strikes. If they can escape the threat of Crawford right here, Hattiesburg will come away out of this inning only giving up a single run, which is now earned, by the way, because of the bases loaded. That runner was Raska's responsibility. If the game were to be all said and done right now at 2-0, that loss would be earned by the starting pitcher, Burkett. I'm going to try to see if I can't get a little bit more of the defense figured out for Hattiesburg as they're meeting at the mound right now. Burkett's coming in from center field. Give it a long look at the pitcher's mound over there. Yeah, they've put back in Raska now. Shifted the positions again. Well, it didn't take them long to say after a single strikeout, maybe they're just trying to get that matchup on Barry. I don't know what's been going on here. Making a lot of changes here. A lot of glove exchanges and a lot of pitching cycling. McFarland's gone back and gotten his different glove. He may be headed back to the outfield. He's number 5 in purple and gold. Tart's back at short. McFarland's going back toward right. And Burkett's going to go back to first. Well, we have a lineup defensively that looks a lot more like it did to start out this game. I don't know that Donaldson has re-entered in center field, although it doesn't look like anything's different out there now. Body type still resembles that of Donaldson earlier. Six foot, he looks 6 foot out there. Pitch on the way to Graham in the dirt. Runners will not advance as the ball was still around home plate. Graham Crawford struck out looking, is flown out to the left. He's represented the second out in both innings that he's batted so far. Hattiesburg would love him to represent the third out of the inning. Off-speed pitch, drops in there on the outside corner. Coach Hartfield trying to get a different right-on-left matchup here. 1-1 the count. Takes the pitch and it drops in there on the inner half. The Hattiesburg head coach may be getting exactly what he asked for. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Popped him up. Outfield. Center fielder charging in for it and making the catch this time. Donaldson, who we believe is in center field, making the catch there. Strands 3 Bobcat runners in the inning. There's 1 run. Oddly enough, no hits. 1 error and 3 men left. We've played through 3 1/2. Sumrall leading 2-0. 1 earned run given up by Raska. And then one unearned by Burkett earlier. Tell you what, been a nice cool afternoon for early season baseball. Not sure what the exact temperature is now. I remember this weekend it was in the 80s at one point. About 51 degrees right now. The wind kind of blowing out of center field into the diamond. Smokey Harrington Park being very kind to the Bobcats so far in this one. Sibley is back out there. The pitch in the 4th inning. High school, you have to pitch a minimum of 4 innings in order to earn a win if you're a starting pitcher. Doesn't appear to be any defensive changes for the Bobcats so far this go-around. Crawford's still the catcher, although he had a substitution in there helping Sibley warm up. As you know, he was the last batter of the last inning, so it takes a little time to get that catcher's gear on. Well, Bobcats last time were able to retire the Tigers 1-2-3 with a strikeout and then back-to-back putouts. I'd love to have a similar inning right here and get right back to the offensive side of things. Going to face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Start off with a designated hitter, Keelan McKellar. 2-0 your score. Sumrall on top here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. McKellar represents one of the 2 Tiger hits so far in the game. 1 strike on him. Pitch from Sibley. Liner over the second baseman and into right field, a base hit. He gets his 2nd hit of the day. Proves why he's a designated hitter. Leadoff man on for Hattiesburg, and Adrian Feltz will come up. McKellar reached with 2 outs back in the 1st inning and is now on with no outs. Adrian Feltz is only his 2nd at-bat of the game. He struck out swinging to end the 1st inning. And that's all she's written on him so far. One of those 7 Tiger juniors. Runner at first base, no outs. Here's the pitch to Feltz. Chopper over the pitcher's head. Gloved by the shortstop, only plays to first, and it's in time for Morgan. Works as an artificial sacrifice, however, and moves McKellar over to second base. It's a Jerry Burkett, who started off the game as the pitcher, now plays at first base. Number 17 in purple and gold walked his first time up, reached second on a sacrifice, and then was caught stealing on a 1-6 putout. First pitch well inside to Burkett. He jumped out of the batter's box away from that one. High school, you have to make an absolute effort to get out of the way of pitches, even if they're coming right at you, in order to earn that hit by pitch in first base. From the stretch at the belt, Sibley with the delivery. Pitch fouled off and out of play. Even up the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. A little bit of a shift in the outfield as Hayden Barrett has come in and has slid over to the left side. As we view the game, slid over to his right. All the outfielders kind of shading toward that opposite field side. Pitch misses to make it 2-1. Jerry Burkett, who gave up the first run of the game, Javen Williams, although it won't affect his ERA because it was an error charged to the center fielder that got him on base. Here's a grounder towards first. Easy play as Story gloves it and steps on the bag. Once again, it moves the runner over, though. And Cameron Lott will try to bat in McKellar, who stands at third base now. Catcher for this Tiger squad has had to receive the pitches of 3 different Tigers so far in this game, and it looks like they've got more warming up down there in the bullpen, so he may be able to face a 4th behind the dish when we reach the top half of the 5th inning. Here's the first pitch on the way to Sibley. Liner past second baseman and into center field. That scores the run. An RBI single for Cameron Lott gives the Tigers their first run of the game. And finally, Hattiesburg has a run. Smiles all around for those in the golden caps, giving handshakes and high fives to Keelan McKellar. As a catcher, Lott has now a courtesy runner running for him at first base. Frederick Evans takes his spot. Awaiting the Hattiesburg batter. He finally comes out now. Walt Thompson. Been playing second base in this game. We think he's still there. 2 outs, run home. And a runner at first right now. Started this game at 6:44. First pitch, fly ball, shallow center field. Taking some steps in, and now another one back is Hayden Barrett. He makes the catch and ends the inning. Not before, though, Hattiesburg's able to plate a run in the inning. On an RBI single by Cameron Lott, they get the run home. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, and 1 man left on. All in all, not a bad job so far for Sibley. He's really kept his pitch count pretty low here in the last few innings. Pitched 12 pitches back in the 3rd. Let's see how many he had in the 4th. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's actually fewer pitches thrown in the inning where Hattiesburg was able to score a run. Not a bad show, 20 pitches in 2 innings. 3 more innings for Sumrall. They're trying to get win number 1 here in 2019. I want to thank some more of our sponsors. We thank you for your support of this webcast and all of Sumrall Athletics sportscasts. Premier Orthopedic. Also, for all your real estate needs, you can call Lewis Norman with All Pro Realty. And also Diversified Forestry. Thank you guys for all of your warm and welcome support of Sumrall Baseball. Entering the top of the 5th inning, Sumrall leading by a single run. Billy Garrity will lead things off for the Bobcats. He'll be followed up by Javen Williams and then Hunter Barrett. Garrity 0 for 1 with a walk earlier. First pitch to him. Heater that drops down low. Raska back out there on the mound. The 1-0. Well inside, and it's 2-0. Hey, the gun's registering 75. It feels faster than that. Maybe I was watching too many of Burkett's pitches. And that one registers 81. Left and right fielders are playing a little bit deep. As Garrity fouls off another pitch and evens his count up at 2-2. Always like seeing Billy play on the football field, and honestly, he's been playing pretty well on the baseball diamond as well in his career. 2-2 the count to him. Now a full count. Garrity, the leadoff man here in the top half of the 5th inning. Sumrall led it 2-0. Hattiesburg was able to gain a run back in the bottom of the 4th. The payoff pitch. Bouncer towards second in the hole, gloving it. Is somebody going to cover? He's safe. The throw was high to the covering pitcher, Raska. Ball didn't go out of play, so Garrity's got to stay at first. Even on the wild throw that almost made it into the Bobcat dugout. So another Bobcat reaches on an error. Another one, I think that's going to be charged to the second baseman on a bad throw. Bad fielding and bad throw. It's their 4th error of the game. Excuse me, their 5th error. Strike 1 to Javen Williams. 0 for 2. He reached on an error and also lined out to the center fielder. 0-1, swings and misses. Throw down to try to get Garrity, not in time. As Burkett was well in front of the bag trying to field that throw from his catcher lot. Williams down in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. The nod from Raska and the pitch. Will look pretty good from here, evidently a bit low. Lot was set up pretty well outside, but the pitch drifted back in over the plate, and it must have been low. It was definitely over the white dish. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off right there at the plate. Just got a piece of it. Williams trying to battle at the plate, down 1 ball and 2 strikes in the count. Garrity on at first base, reached on an error. Nobody out. Javen Williams at the plate. 1-2. Laced into center field. Ranging back is Donaldson. He camps out under it. And now Garrity having to go back and tag up at first base. All the outs, or all of the at-bats for Williams have resulted in balls hit towards center field. 1 was dropped and the other 2 have been caught. Just kind of looping fly balls into center field, and that is where balls go to die at Smokey Harrington Park. That brings up Hunter Barrett. His first pitch is right down Broadway. I didn't see a motion from the umpire, though. Evidently missed. 1-0. That one's up high. Throw down to first, not in time. More of a courtesy throw over there just to make sure Garrity knows that Lott's presence is there. 2-0 the count to Hunter Barrett. The deal from Raska. Fly ball, right field side, drifting into foul territory. Calling it off at the right fence. And getting it is assumedly Mcfarland. And that is who's out there in right field to make the catch. So back-to-back flyouts to the outfield make it 2 outs and a runner at first. So now Mason Story at the plate is, as far as statistics are concerned, this inning should be over if Garrity were properly thrown out by the second baseman at first. Instead, Garrity reached on the air and Williams flew out, then Barrett flew out. Story 0 for 2 on the day. Swings and misses at his first offering. Lott lost the ball momentarily, not enough for Garrity to advance. Oh, 1. Garrity is going on that pitch. Throw down to second. They won't get him. Pitch was a strike. 0-2. If Story can get one into the outfield that's a base hit, he'd probably score Garrity with all likelihood. Garrity will be running on contact. 0-2. Lott sets up outside. Here's the pitch down in the dirt. Blocks it up nicely, however. Not a bad pitch to throw in that situation. We've had Story chasing so far in the at-bat. One and two, Raska, the delivery. Again, outside that pitch, gets all the way back to the screen. Garrity trots into third base easily. A pass ball. Garrity gets over there to third base. Now just one more of those, and he may be able to score. Infielders kind of playing deep in the dirt. I know their play is to first. Here's the 2-2. Mason checks his swing and takes ball 3. Three and 2 in a 2-1 ball game. Runner at third base for Sumrall. 2 down. The payoff pitch struck him out swinging and held on to by the catcher Lott to end this Bobcat threat. They leave a runner stranded in scoring position. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 man left. Sumrall leading 2-0 as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, where we get to see more of Sibley. He's been dealing pretty well here in the final 2 innings, or the previous 2 innings, and he is going to trot back out there onto the mound. Been playing pretty loosely. Though he gave up a run back in the 4th inning, it was a lone single. Excuse me, there were 2 singles. One single that got McKellar on base, and then the RBI single by Lott got him in. McKellar was able to get to second and then third on ground outs. They don't count as sacrifices in the book, but they pretty much artificially are counted as that. In the hearts of all the Hattiesburg coaching staff, they're pretty happy with the way that they manufactured that run. Hattiesburg's going to try to at least tie this thing up right here. Sumrall going to try to wield it off. Hunter Barrett last year in this game, looking at some of my notes that I had earlier, Barrett not only started the game and pitched for 4 innings, he also had 3 RBIs. 3 of the 4 runs were batted in by him. The other run, a solo shot from Billy Garrity over the outfield wall. So his home run was his RBI, and that's how the Bobcats had 4 runs in that game, matching and exceeding Hattiesburg's 3. They got the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up to the Tigers. Landon Raska, the pitcher, who started off playing first base, is going to be followed by Jarius Mcfarland and then Jermel Ford. I don't think Ford's really been a factor in the left field area so far in this game. I think everything's been either to center field or right field. More on that later. First pitch to Raska is outside for ball 1. One and 0 to Raska. Sibley delivers. I was right down Broadway, and it was fouled off. Raska just a little bit out in front of that pitch. Got up under it, too. Two to 1 ball game. Sumrall leading the defending 5A state champions. One, up and out. Sumrall does have someone down there in the right field side bullpen, should they elect to pull Sibley. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch to Raska. Up high, and Sibley's looking like he's having a little trouble finding the zone all of a sudden. The wind and the 3-1 pitch. That's in there in the lower part of the zone. Three and two. Here's the pitch. Took a cut on that one and fouled it high and behind us. Yeah, it'd be tough to make out that Sumrall Bobcat. There's actually 2 of them warming up down there. Payoff pitch. Little bouncing ball over towards short. Gloved, thrown, in time. Good defense by Morgan DeStory. Handled the bouncing ball well, and Morgan retires Raska on the ground out. 6-3 on the putout. Bottom batter, Jarius Mcfarland, the 9-hole hitter. Only 1 error should be charged to Sumrall tonight so far, and that's on the pitcher. It's an infield single followed by an errant throw that caused the runner to move to second base. That's the only reason there's an error. Nobody has reached on an error for Hattiesburg so far in this game. The 1-0 is in there for a strike. So you can certainly say in comparison to the 5 errors charged to Hattiesburg that Sumrall's done pretty well in the field. Two and 1 the count on Jarius Mcfarland. He struck out looking back in the 3rd inning. This is only his 2nd at bat. Now to go through the lineup for a 3rd time. Ooh, got a big cut as he chased the pitch outside. Two and 2. Outfield playing straight up. Middle infielders playing somewhat at a double play depth. Sibley with the glove in front of his face. Sets into his windup and pitches. Slapped over the second baseman's head and into right field, a base hit. Bottom of the order gets on base with a bloop single into right. That's where they've been hitting him tonight. Getting a hold of his pitches just enough to line it over the second baseman's head. Barry'd have to grow 9 feet to catch those line drives. And honestly, Cross Sibley's not doing a terrible job pitching. It's just a matter of, you're going through the lineup now for a 3rd time. And judging based on how Jermel Ford handles the pitcher for a 3rd time may determine the fate of Sibley continuing on in this game. With a runner on and 1 out. Sumrall, I doubt, will throw over to first as many times as the pitcher Burkett did earlier in the game. Timeout is taken at home plate by the top of the order in Jermel Ford. Working from the stretch, Sibley delivers. Breaking ball, drops in there for strike, running goes, tag is there, he's out. What a job by Crawford connecting over there at second base for the putout. Tag was waiting by Morgan. Just great. There's a strike. Oh, 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Ooh, just a bit low. Looked pretty good. Must have dipped a little bit low or just off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Infield playing at double play depth once again. 2 down. Base is empty. Here's the pitch. Popped him up on the infield. Third baseman Barrett is there. And this inning is over. So Mcfarland reaches on a single, but he's put out on the caught stealing. 2-6 on the put out, and then Ford pops out to the third baseman, Hunter Barrett. 3 up, 3 down. Technically, in the fact that you had 3 players come up to bat, and they represent the 3 outs. Not for they had a hit, though. 0 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. Looks like Raska's back out there on the mound. Pitching again for the Tigers as they're down by a single run, 2-1. Got 2 more innings in the normal playing time of this game remaining. No leaders comfortable enough. Sumrall looking to add 2 theirs. They'll have the 7, 8, 9 hitters up. Tanner Morgan, followed by Cross Sibley, and then Hayden Barrett. Once again, want to thank some of our sponsors, especially State Farm agents Stacy Clark and Lance Ware. Also ComSouth, and then the Family Practice After Hours. Thank them for their support of this webcast and Sumrall Baseball. Proud supporters, they say. I tell you, Jeremy, I'm glad we got the ambiance of getting a little bit of the crowd noise and a little bit of the ping of the bat, because I've been here. This is my first time in the baseball stadium, but I've been over to D.I. Patrick Stadium just on the other side of the road. And their football stadium is very similar in press box setup. They have a completely enclosed booth. And over there at football, it's the home radio, the away radio. In between both of those booths, it's completely open between the bays. Between both of the radio crews is the head coaching staff on headsets for Hattiesburg. I tell you, you have to be careful sometimes with how loud you have your headsets turned up, because you might catch some things that you may not want to go over the radio. But it was always kind of one of those little ticks in the back of my head saying, man, I wish we could hear a little bit more of what's going on the field, because as far in as we would be during football season, you couldn't hear the referees blow whistles. You'd have to watch the pantomimes of referees waving their hands in the air to know that play had been stopped. So a lot of it was up to interpretation on what was going on the field. You had to really draw conclusions and take context clues. So it's good to hear the ping of the bat and people calling for the ball and the little wireless microphone we got set up down there. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Tanner Morgan. Sidebar is over. The 2-2 pitch right in there. Got Tanner to go down looking. He goes 0 for 3 on the day. So we're in the top half of the 6th inning. Sumrall clinging to a 2-1 lead. The man who's getting it done on the defensive side pitching, Cross Sibley, now at the plate. Right-hander has reached base on a walk and struck out in the game. Watches the first pitch go way outside for ball 1. Infielders playing back in this at-bat. The 1-0. Big cut, and he missed on that one. One on the way inside. Sibley batted .271 last year. Scored 11 times and completed 13 hits. Takes a cut and misses that one as well. Had 3 doubles on the year. Struck out 9 times and was walked 4 times. The 2-2. Low and away. Got a full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bases empty and a man down in the inning. The payoff pitch inside. Sibley with 2 strikes is able to reach first on the walk. And he's on with 1 down for Hayden Barrett. Sumrall Cross is going to have Sully Clark check back in as a courtesy runner at first base for him. He'll be doing the running duties. So Clark stands at first base for Hayden Barrett. Hattiesburg would love to turn a double play. We haven't had one in this game so far. First pitch is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Barrett's gotten the job done at the plate by reaching base twice. Both have been on walks. Checked his swing, but a called strike evens the count at a ball and a strike. One on the scoreboard. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. And 1 runner at first base. High fly ball, foul ground left side, giving chase, but running out of room is the left fielder Ford. Went over to the Hattiesburg bullpen area. Hayden in a hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Be quite a battle at the plate if he's able to get the walk here. He walked back in the 3rd inning and was retired in a throwdown situation. He was caught stealing. Speaking of throwovers, there's one right there. Clark gets back easily. Barrett was left stranded back in the 4th inning. One of those 3 base runners stranded, as the Bobcats had a big threat in the 4th inning. Here's the 1-2. Inside corner, strike is called, and Barrett will take a seat on the bench. 2 looking strikeouts in this inning. Tanner Morgan and Hayden Barrett, and now the top of the order, and Zane Berry coming to the plate. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Got a runner on at first base. First pitch to him is up high for ball 1. One ball, no strikes, 2 down in the inning. We're in the top half of the 6th, and Sumrall once again clinging to that 1-run lead, 2-1. The 1-0 drops in there, strike at the knees. Generating a little noise from the fans in blue and gold. Count evened up, 1 ball and 1 strike. Raska delivers, gets a swinging strike. Bottom kind of fell out of that pitch. Chance for Hattiesburg to go to the bottom half of the inning, only down 1. Not much of a threat from the Bobcats here in the top of the 6th. The nod and the deal. He's got him right there. Breaking ball's been good on the inner half of the plate to the right-handing hitters for Raska. Got called third strikes for all three of the Sumrall batters that were retired that inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, one man left. Bobcats have left a total of 8 runners left on the base paths. So far, Sumrall has been the beneficiary of 5 Hattiesburg errors, although they've cleaned things up as of late. Not really needing anything in the field if you're getting your outs at home plate. The only runner you put on was in the form of a walk, so your fielders had nothing to do with that inning. Just pitcher and catcher. All that was used right there in the 6th. Raska's up now to 5 strikeouts, matching the total of Burkett earlier in the game. Back out on the mound is Sibley, still in the game. Trying to perhaps go for the complete game or finish up at least the 6th inning. Or maybe a Bobcat elsewhere on the pitching staff can get a save. Still looking like he's got the velocity. It's just a matter of getting the location whenever the batters step in the box. He'll face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Tart, McKellar, and Feltz. Tart's put balls into play, or at least when he put one into play. He struck out in his first at bat and then grounded out to second base. McKellar's been the Achilles heel of Sumrall today. He's 2 for 2 with singles. And Feltz 0 for 2 on a ground out and strikeout. 0 for 2 is Tart. Here's his first offering. In there for a strike. Relaxing evening for baseball here at Smoky Harrington Park in downtown Hattiesburg. The 0-1. Jammed him inside. Good glove by Sibley, and a toss is easy to Story. Caught him right on the palm of the glove as he ranged to his right to get that ball. Right back to him. Keelan McKellar, who has singled in both his at-bats in the 1st and 4th inning. The right-hander awaits the first offering. And it's a little low and outside for ball 1. Certainly not afraid of that if you're Sibley right there to get your first out through 6 innings of work. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Here's the delivery. Just a bit inside. We'll get an up-to-date update on his pitching column. It's popped up on the infield, and Sibley getting it done in the field. Retiring both batters so far in this inning in the field of play. Majority of his outs have not been in the form of strikeouts. He's got 4 strikeouts to his credit in this game. He's given up a total of 5 hits. I tell you, his defense has really backed him up well. Only error has been charged to him, being Cross Sibley. This is Adrian Feltz. He's struck out and grounded out to short. 1 ball and no strike pitch is in there for a strike. I may have said only 3 strikeouts. I meant to say 4 if I didn't. Pitch misses, make it 2-1. And only one walk issued. Well, you're definitely a fan of that. Popped up on the infield. Not going to be Cross's ball this time. This time Hunter Barrett is calling for it and drops it. He was thinking about walking into the dugout. He's claiming that it was on the exchange. Umpire at home is having none of it. Lackadaisically coming in, making the catch and dropping it with the glove coming down to his side as he was trying to walk his way to the dugout. Now he knows in his head that he definitely had the ball and then dropped it because he knew he had it. All the Sumrall fans and Coach Knight, who's come out of the dugout, saying that that was on the exchange. Well, this is interesting. It's going to be charged as an E5, even though it should have been the last out of the inning. Feltz is going to get a pinch runner, and it's Joshua Jones. Well, all of a sudden, Hattiesburg, instead of being retired 1-2-3, have a runner on first with 2 down. They've got the starting pitcher, Jerry Burkett, who's now playing at first, at the plate. Coach Knight's going to have a few words to say to Hunter Barrett probably after this inning is over. Complete the play. Barrett definitely had the ball, just in dropping the glove to his side and releasing the ball to give it to the next team to start the inning. Did it just a little bit too quickly and is charged with the error and charged with not completing the catch fully. 0-1 to Jerry Burkett. Left-hander Sibley deals, gets a swing and a miss. Burkett was ready to run to first on a drop third strike, but it was only strike 2. All right, if you're Sibley right here, trying to get strike 3 and not let Barrett pay too much for dropping out number 3. The 0-2. Off speed, got him swinging. Good job by Sibley. Got him with a little bit of a slider, caught him inside and off speed and got Burkett to swing and miss. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on. Hattiesburg is stranded only 4 runners in the game. Only 4 runners have been stranded, so they've really done a good job defensively in getting people off the base paths. The only run that scored has been earned by Hattiesburg through a leadoff hit, 2 ground outs, and then an RBI single to get that single run home. They've really had to manufacture people on the base paths. Let's see if they do anything different here, will Hattiesburg, because Jones replaced Feltz on the base paths. I wonder if they'll check back in their starter. I have a feeling that's exactly what they'll do. But we'll need verification by checking third base to see if Adrian Feltz is there. Feltz is 5'8" and weighs about 200. Can't quite tell if that's what we have. Meanwhile, we got a new pitcher in. Jarius Mcfarland has taken over the mound. Trying to end this 7th inning and give his Tigers a chance to score in the bottom half of the inning. So Rasko's day is done with all likelihood. had a pretty good day, minus giving up 1 run. It was a leadoff walk in the 4th inning. Runner moved into scoring position on a stolen base and was able to earn home plate on the balk. Start things off, Graham Crawford. He'll be followed by Billy Garrity and then Javen Williams. Got a couple of lefties coming up first. Probably one of the reasons that coaches brought in this right-hander. I checked that. Billy's on deck. Somebody said, "Come on, Billy." That's Graham Crawford at the plate. They're a similar build, though. Inside corner on that pitch. 1-1 the count. And Garrity, 6 foot 200. Crawford, 6 foot 205. I mean, that's negligible. 5-pound difference between those two guys. You got to make sure you're looking at 3-4 and not 3-1 when you're watching a left-hander come into the box. 2-1 the count. Base is empty. Leadoff batter here. Graham Crawford laces that one deep into right field. Right fielder going back, trying to trace the ball. Can't find it. It's off the base of the wall. Crawford rounding second, heading towards third. They get the ball into the cutoff man, and he's standing up at third for a leadoff triple. That'll get your blood pumping if you're Graham Crawford. He'll have Dennis Jackson running the base paths for him over at third base. Speedy Gonzalez over there at third. The Jackson will stand at third in place of Graham Crawford. Garrity, who is yet to have a hit in this game, 0 for 2. Reached base on a walk back in the 3rd inning. Also reached base in the 5th, but on an error by the second baseman. Here's his first pitch. Takes a cut at a low breaking ball and misses. 0-1. Garrity coming to the plate aggressive on this one. Struck out back in the 1st. With aggressive swinging, ended the 1st inning. Watches that one drift low for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Infield playing in, trying to protect home plate and keep Jackson from scoring on an infield ground ball. The 1-2 is up high. Garrity not swinging at junk here. Wanting a perfect pitch here. Now there's a discussion. They call a balk or not? They're pointing, saying they did call the balk. It's almost like a balk on an appeal. Third base umpire calls the balk. That's how Jackson gets home. First base coach was pointing at it. Third base umpire made a signal. It was pretty nonchalant to where nobody really saw it. And home plate umpire motioned toward the third base umpire saying, "Yeah, I saw he called the balk." So Jackson was able to trot in easily. Not a care in the world. So back to business. It's a 2-2 count on Billy Garrity, now with the bases empty and nobody out. And he swings and misses, and that's strike 3. Oh, back to the right-handers now. Javen Williams stands in. He's had all 3 of his at-bats end in balls hit to center field, one of which was dropped, the other 2 caught. First pitch is up and out of the zone. He's had good swings on some balls. They've just always hung up on him. All of them have been fly balls. and not relatively deep, at least not deep in respect to Smokey Harrington Park, which deep in center field here is a distance to which golf balls are sometimes rarely hit. Couple strikes makes it 1-2. Javen waits for the pitch, grounds it foul left side. Battles off the pitch, count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Once again, bases empty, 1 out. Dennis Jackson scoring in place of Graham Crawford after a leadoff triple and then an ensuing balk from the pitcher, Jarius Mcfarland. McFarland had been playing right field today. Not sure who's in right now. Grounder towards short. Gloved, picked up, thrown across the diamond, thrown into the foul territory area. And it goes into a dead ball area, and now Williams will be gifted second base. It is the 6th Hattiesburg error. On a bad throw from the shortstop. I believe it's Tart that's back there. He started at short, pitched for a brief outing, and then came back to his position. So Hunter Barrett, who has doubled and scored back in the 4th inning, at the plate with a runner in scoring position at second. Has already earned 1 RBI today. Laces that one into center field. Ranging back is Donaldson on his horse. Sliding down. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Tagging up and getting over to third base is Williams. They appeal at second base. The runner tagged after the catch was made. So another fly out to center field. Results in the second out, but another runner down just 90 feet away. Mason Story. Is 0 for 3 on the game. And we may be looking at another pitching change, or we may be asking a little bit of an explanation from the umpire on why the appeal was awarded as he was safe in advancing from second to third. It's the first base umpire who was between first and second on that play that had to judge whether or not the runner had left early. Coach Hartfield's argument falls on deaf ears, and the umpire goes back to his position. Coach Hartfield as well will make the slow walk back to the third base dugout. Javen Williams is over at third base in scoring position. Mason Story is at the plate with 2 down. Bobcats have already gotten an insurance run in this inning. Here's the pitch. Bounce to the plate, but it's blocked up by Lott. Wind is blowing pretty strong from left center field. 1-0, catches the outside corner. Trying to get a gauge of what kind of pitching style we really see from McFarland right here. Kind of a catch-all right now. Raska had a really nice slider that he throw especially to right-handers. That's a charge to that one to foul ground and out of play. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball drops in there. Strike 3 called. Well, to the bottom of the 7th we go. Sumrall plates an insurance run, and they're up 3-1 over the Hattiesburg Tigers, the defending 5A state champions. I want to thank Magnolia State Bank, Bellevue Specialty Eye Care, and Sonic for their support of Sumrall Baseball webcast this season. You help make this show possible. We thank you, all the folks watching on our YouTube channel tonight. Been a nice, fun evening for baseball here in the early going of 2019 season. Sibley is back to try to close out the complete game. He's got a 2-run pad in his lead. Just got to locate for 3 more outs, and Sumrall is off to a 1-0 start. He's got 5 strikeouts in the game. As I said earlier, his defense has really helped him out. Sans the error by third baseman Hunter Barrett in the last inning on a 3rd out that was caught, and he dropped his catch immediately just to make his way to the dugout and got called for not completing the catch. 9 o'clock here in Central Time, as the game is now 2 hours and 16 minutes old. Coach Hartfield earlier in the week talking about his team this year, he says though he's lost all these seniors, they're not in a rebuild mode. They're just revising things. I feel like some of his pitching will definitely need some revising. They lost some aces on last year's squad. Not to say they're left with Raska and Burkett. I definitely don't think they're developed to the same level that their previous guys were. Here's a ground ball, third base side. Glove, but pops out of the mid of Hunter Barrett. It's going to be a tough play, him ranging over to his left. I would gift him with an infield hit. That was going to be a tough play to make. And Cameron Lott reaches base safely. They charge him with an error, and I guess in an opposing territory. I'm not surprised by it. He got to it really quickly. Ranged over to his left, backhanded the glove on the ball, but in his pirouette to try to turn and throw to first, he lost the ball out of his glove. Officially, that'll be the 2nd error charged to Hunter Barrett. His leadoff man is aboard for Hattiesburg. He represents what would be their 2nd run of the game. The tying run at the plate is Walt Thompson. One ball and no strikes. Man at first base is Evans, the courtesy runner for Cameron Lott. A 1-0. That one's in there. Sibley reacting pretty calmly to a leadoff man getting aboard, settling in. Here's the 1-1. Well, that time he gets it outside. I tell you what, for Sumrall, a lot of experience on the defensive side. Only lose 1 player from the defensive side last year. That's kind of been the difference in this game, is that defense has really played well for Sumrall in this one. With that, Cross Sibley is now a ball away from putting the tying run on base. Three-one delivery. That one's in there. Count goes full. Sumrall fans wanting a strikeout. Hasn't happened to Thompson yet in this game. Here's the 3-2. Foul ball. Hard hit 1-2 down the first base line. Thompson singled and reached second base on an error and has flown out to center. 1 for 2. Facing a full count pitch for the second time in this at-bat with the runner on. Here it is. And again, he fouls it off to the right side and out of play. He's battling at the plate. Walt Thompson at the plate. Another 3-2. Pops this one up. This one's going to stay in play, though. First baseman, Story, camping under it in right field, foul territory and making the catch. So one down and a runner at first base. Hattiesburg looking to make perhaps a change in the batting order. Looks like the same people that are in the order are out there, 19 and 5, Landon Raska and Jarius Mcfarland, but like Coach Hartfield was motioning for a possible lineup change. Coach Knight having a meeting at the mound. It's the first meeting he's had, and he's going to go ahead and make a change. He's going to put it in the hands of Halen Sanford to try to close this out and get the save. And a great job by the pitcher Sibley tonight. He's going to trot his way out into the outfield. We'll see who checks out. It's going to be the left fielder Williams going out. Take a look at some of the pitching numbers from the senior Halen Sanford. Pitched 41 1/3 innings last year, gave up 22 runs, only 13 of those earned. Didn't have a save last year to his credit. Had a 2.2 ERA, 4 wins and 1 loss. Appearing in 11 different games, starting in 9 of those 11. So out of the 9 games he started, it only factored into this decision 5 of those times. So Sibley won't get a chance to have the complete game. Sanford, though, with a chance to get his first save of the season. If nothing else changes in the score, then Sibley will be credited with a win, and a save will go to Halen Sanford. Sanford, a left-hander, battling against the right-handed Landon Raska, pitcher who just checked out in the top of the 7th inning. He's got a lot of heat on his throws, does Raska. Let's see what kind of stuff Halen's got in his repertoire, with a man at first base and 1 down. First pitch. Ooh, look at the heat. Didn't even register on the gun. No balls and 1 strike. Well, going to have a quick trigger as a batter if you're going to be facing Halen Sanford. Sanford from the stretch deals again. Outside corner. Got a good look to him. More than likely going to be a starter for Sumrall throughout the year. Got him swinging 3 straight pitches. 1, 2, 3. Take a seat, Landon Raska. And now Jarius Mcfarland, the 9-hole hitter, is at the plate with 1 down and a man at first base. He represents the tying run. Has singled so far in this game. He's 1 for 2. Struck out back in the 3rd and singled in the 5th. Mcfarland was later caught on the base paths. Lines it into right field. That's a fair ball. Retreating and grabbing it is Garrity, trying to field it in. Runners will stop at second and third. Mcfarland having a 2-for-3 day. So now the tying run is in scoring position. Evans is at third and Mcfarland is at second. Got a hold of some of that heat from Halen Sanford. And now they're back to the top of the order. Jermel Ford. Well, it's a perfect situation for Hattiesburg. And that the bottom of the order has done what they needed to do. Now keep in mind that Evans reached first on an error. So the run prior to scoring the tying run would be unearned. Runner at third base is still Sibley's responsibility. And once again, that run would be unearned. You can just about close out the book, I guess, for Sibley. Only one earned run. It's just a matter of how many total runs did he give up. Gave up 5 hits and 6 1/3 innings. A timeout being called for the runner at second base, Mcfarland. Meanwhile, to chat a little bit more about the job that Sibley's done today, he only gave up how many walks? I think he had a walk somewhere. Yeah, there's one. The only one walk all day. Jammed him up inside. Did he go around? They appeal? Yes, he did. I thought so. 1 strike. On the top of the order batter, Jermel Ford. 0 for 3. Popped up, grounded out, and struck out. 0-1 the count. 2 runners in scoring position. Here's the pitch. That's low, blocked up by Graham Crawford. Most pressure that Sumrall's been in this game. Can't come at a worse time, though. Hattiesburg with the winning run at the plate right now. 1-1. Nearly hit him. A baseball's length over the helmet of Ford. And he's ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Well, you'd love to get the pop out right here. Like to make it nice and easy. Don't drop it if you're an infielder. Just don't get a base hit. 2-1, that one's in there. And now the Bobcats are a strike away. Bobcats leading 3-1. The tying run is at second base for Hattiesburg in a deuces wild situation. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch inside, ball 3. Ford thought it was ball 4 that it hit him. It did not. Could load the bases right here. Or it could be a situation where Sumrall comes away with an out and the game. The payoff pitch. Strike 3 called, and the game is over. Ford goes down looking, and that's how the Bobcats end the first game of the regular season. 3-1 your final score. Sumrall victorious in this one. Finally want to thank our sponsors one more time. Thank you to Premier Orthopedic, Diversified Forestry, and also the people that are there for all your real estate needs. Lewis Norman with All Pro Realty. Thank you all for your support of Sumrall Athletics. And thank you, those watching the stream, for watching this Bobcat victory. A great way to start out 2019 3-1. Sumrall victorious over Hattiesburg tonight, winning over the defending 5A state champions. Well, thanks again for tuning in to this broadcast tonight. Sumrall starting things right. I'm Caleb Hamill saying so long from Smoky Harrington Park. 3-1 your final score. Sumrall with a win in 2019 to get the season started.